Listen, I know it's like the 40th time this has happened, but you can't just mope around the house all summer again. You know, when are you gonna move out? I have a kid. Oh, do you? You never mentioned it. Hi, kids. Victorious puppies. This team is ruining my life. Why do I watch hockey? Stress relief. We can, and we will. One final victory puppy for you there, Iggy. It was the last treat in the bag. I guess that should have been a sign. Thanks for everything this season, buddy. You're a good boy. You gonna just sit there munching on it? Okay, well, sort of destroys the emotion of the moment there. Well, that was a fun week and a half. All that build-up. Hockey's coming back. Let's go! And I spoke it into existence. They found a way to lose in 5. Hi, I'm Steve Dangle. This is the final LFR of the season. LFR, what does that stand for? Leafs Fan Reaction. I do one of these after every single Leaf game, and this is the final one of the season because Leafs lose 3-0 to the Columbus Blue Jackets in Game 5, the deciding game because of COVID and all this weirdness of their qualifying round series. So the Leafs were in the playoffs, but not the Stanley Cup playoffs. They were in just this weird thing that may or may not ever count. You know, it's funny. Just last night, I was tweeting about numbers for this channel, because obviously the comeback video for Game 4 was ridiculous, and the blown 3-0 lead in Game 3 was ridiculous. But the comeback for Game 4 is my most watched video ever for a Leafs win. But what's wild is when it took over for my most viewed video for a Leafs win, it was still my 26th most watched video. So I guess my brand is a yell and scream after Leafs losses, whether it's Game 6 against Washington, or Game 7 against Boston, or Game 7 against Boston, or even Game 7 against Boston. Or that time they lost to a 42-year-old Tampa. You know the line. And I always say, I don't script these. I'm doing this night of. I obviously haven't scripted this. I rarely even go into it with a post-it note or even a thing on my phone. So what you get is from the heart. So here are my from the heart views on this game, and then we're just gonna talk, folks. We're just gonna have a nice little chat. So Game 5, the Leafs literally make history in Game 4. They become the first team in NHL history to blow a 3-0 lead and lose, and then the very next game, which was 24 hours later, they overcome a 3-0 deficit and they win. It was amazing and inspirational and one of their best comebacks ever, and it may not have even happened in a game that was real. Sheldon Keefe pulls a fast one heading into Game 5. Andreas Johnsson inserted into the lineup. A lot of people are going to look back on that decision negatively on account of the Leafs lost this game. I just can't bring myself to do it. I love Nick Robertson, and Nick Robertson is going to be disgusting, and he's probably going to make the Leafs out of camp in just a matter of months. But there were times where I was like, man, this is a really hard time to be playing your first NHL hockey. And then he got a shot with Tavares, and I'm like, okay, let's settle down. Johnsson, if he was healthy and he looked like he was going, made sense. And obviously it made Sheldon Keefe a little bit more comfortable going with the big line, which was a dominant line of John Tavares in the middle, Matthews on his left, Marner on his right. All night, they were unstoppable. Unless your name is Jonas Korpisalo. This obviously forced William Nylander to play center, and there were a couple brain farts in this game. One brain fart led to a point shot from Zach Werenski. It took a funny bounce. A funny bounce! And it bounced right in the net. 1-0 Blue Jackets. What's the story of the game from there? John Tavares hits the post. Later on in the game, they're already down Jake Muzzin, and then the Leafs lose Tyson Barrie to injury. They're all out of whack. Justin Hall goes for one of the worst line changes I've ever seen in my entire life. A Brad Marchand-esque line change. People don't forget. You know, they're talking about it like, well, you know, he must have been confused because it was a weird pair. A shoulder check, a simple shoulder check that no one is there would have prevented that goal, and then who knows what happens. And then what happens? Martin Marincin is left totally alone. He's completely helpless. All he does is press L1. That's all he can do. My name is Marty Marincin, and I sense danger, L1. At least Dermott presses L1 and R1. He got called for it. Liam Foudy, who has been buzzing all series, I'm surprised he didn't produce more, produces here. He beats Frederik Andersen on a shot that Freddie should have had. It's 2-0. Now again, a lot of people are mad now, and we're microanalyzing everything, and it would have been nice. It would have been real nice to get a save from Freddie there, but I think in that instance, you sort of see the challenge of being the goalie for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think Freddie Andersen, committed, stops that shot. How is he supposed to commit? He doesn't know where it's going. I've yelled this a bunch of times on 2-on-1s, which the Leafs frequently give up. Pick a thing! thing. That's the beauty of life, is choice, as long as you make one. If you're taking the shooter, take the shooter. If you're taking the pass, take the pass. Because simply pressing L1 and twerking up on your goalie doesn't work. Well, since he's not going to be on the Leafs next year, at least Martin Marincin has a bright future as a TikTok superstar, unless they ban it. Actually, wait, no, the Leafs play in Canada. You're all good. Oh, wait, no. Martin Marincin was extended in January. He'll be back. Steve, why are you ranting about Martin Marincin? He wasn't the one who went for the line change. No, the guy who went for a line change also got a contract extension around the same time, and it was for 3 years. There's a reason my book isn't called Hey, Isn't This Fun? And all third period long, they're looking for an answer, almost find one. Eunice Korpisalo robs them. He was unbelievable in this series. Nick Foligno gets the empty netter. That's it. Season's over. There's no miracle this time. And this is where my peace with it comes from. I'm looking at the handshakes, and it's the end of the game. Their season is over. Last year, Game 7, I watched the Leafs play the Bruins. I thought they were the best team. Game 6 happens, they blow that opportunity on home ice. Game 7, they play their worst game of the series, and they got killed. And they looked awful. And ranting about Babcock, his refusal to make any changes. He's got Marleau out there with like 2 minutes left. Like, God bless the guy, but what are you doing? And it was just this incredible feeling of they blew it. They blew it! This year, I'm like, they're just not good enough. They didn't blow it. That's who they are. They're not good enough. Because the Bruins have the three-headed monster line too. They got Marchand, Bergeron, Pasternak. It's a perfect line. The Leafs, their three-headed monster line, the rest of the team just doesn't accommodate it. They can't. Then there's obviously this stat from Dumb Decision. Look at this. The Leafs, in 274 minutes and 21 seconds, shot 1.9%. Everyone out here, even Sheldon Keefe was like, oh, well, we shot 2%. No, less. And this is where we are, in this funny spot. In this funny 5-game tournament in August, the Leafs lost a best-of-5 series shooting 2%, which they're never going to do. You give the Leafs 5 games, they are not getting shut out twice and shooting 2%. They're just not. So, do you base the future of the Toronto Maple Leafs on this fluky little 2% performance, Eunice Korpisalo playing out of his mind, and this 5-game mini-series in the middle of August? No, you absolutely do not make big changes to the Leafs because of that. That would be ridiculous. You make changes to the Leafs because the previous 70 games, October through March, they stunk. Okay, stunk is a strong word. They were in a playoff spot when the season paused. They may or may not have made it. Putting themselves in a position to may or may not have made it was pretty impressive considering where they were at the time Babcock was fired. The Tyson Barrie trade, it was a disaster. It was a disaster, and we can't even call it that. It's the Nazem Kadri trade. That's what it was. Alexander Kerfoot is so much better than I ever thought he would be, and the trade still stinks because of how bad Barrie was. And you could say, well, his season started poorly because of Mike Babcock. I have no sympathy. The time to fire him was April. That whole thing, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. The best time was still 20 years ago. This is a list of the Leafs defensemen signed through next season. Morgan Rielly, CC's a UFA. Jake Muzzin, Barry's a UFA. Rasmus Sandin, Dermott's an RFA. Callie Rosen, Martin Marincin, and Justin Hall. I should throw in there they have Timothy Liljegren, although he wasn't a full-timer this year. Teuvo Kemihalmi, we barely even saw him. And also Mikko Lehtinen, who was a free agent signing the Finnish Bobby Orr. And I keep having people going, oh man, those guys are coming off the books. Why are you gonna make the rash decisions? Because for the salary cap, the Leafs were boned before we knew there was going to be a pandemic and the cap wasn't going to go up at all. The defense needs addressing. The sky is blue. The forward group, I still believe in the big guys. There's some young promise there, but obviously the structure of it is not enough to accommodate or to optimize it. You should be able to put your 3 best players on a line. That's not revolutionary. At least, like, why don't we put our 3 best forwards on the same line? Jason Spezza, like, did these guys not go on hockey DB before they signed me? Listen, losing Muzzin was huge. Riley's a Gronk. I liked Matthews. Tavares had a hell of a series. Geez, if he didn't hit that post. William Nylander is a great winger. Shouldn't play center. Mitch Marner. It's a lot of money, man, but he tried. He really did try all series. I think people are being too hard on him, but he's making people are going to be too hard on your money. So how bad should you feel? I'm not sure. Freddie, you get a year left. You're not going to re-sign him. North of 30. It's going to ask for a lot. I'm happy Sheldon Keefe is the coach. But once he was called up, the Toronto Marlies were an absolute disaster. Does that not sound like a team that needs to make a lot of moves to you? Dude, I like Kyle Dubas the person. I told you, I was on a commercial shoot for Sick Kids, and there's Kyle Dubas. It's midnight, it's in the rain, we're standing in an alley. It's the GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs, donating his time to the cause. Ilya Mikheyev gets his wrist slashed, a potential career-altering injury, and he's there at the hospital with him for nearly a week. But this guy made a hell of a trade last summer with Kadri. I think it whiffed. The Zaitsev-Ceci thing, we may never actually understand. And having to get rid of a first-round pick for Patrick Marleau may not have been his fault, but he did do the thing. Your core is locked up. Your coach is your guy. It's all eyes on him. It has to be. Let's have a chat. Questions. Joe Sakic just keeps winning trades left and right. Yep, haha. Like, I'm just so tired of cheering for a joke. Kadri trade, all the Hurricane stuff, the fact that they were one of the host teams and they got eliminated. How does that feel, Edmonton? Half this team is made of locals. Where are they going to go after they leave the bubble? Down the street? Toronto got beaten by a team that didn't score a power play goal the entire series. Tim and Sid is going to be fun. And speaking of which, brand new Steve Dangle podcast. Look out for that. Positive season overall? No. Absolutely not, Justin. I'm sorry. Listen, I covered the games when they happened, and then I did the 70 and 70 series. No, the Leafs were bad. They had injuries. Oh, cry. Like, every team has injuries. They were bad. They were mediocre. Should they move on from Hall & Oates for their goal song? Speaking of mediocre, God, how do you all do this every year? As a Hawks fan that kind of likes the Leafs, I feel heavily disappointed right now. So how? Started watching the Leafs after watching your videos, so I blame you for this. To everyone who falls in the category of Catherine, like you started watching the Leafs because of my videos, I'm sorry. To anyone in the Leafs organization watching this video going, damn that Steve Dangle, could he just give us a break? You're welcome! Oh, here we go, the Leafs 4-game comeback, and oh, we just throw it back on the pile! Tainted memories. I said to myself, when Kawhi hit that buzzer beater against the Philadelphia 76ers, I said, I'm gonna get a giant poster of that, and I'm gonna put it in my basement. And then I thought, no, wait and see if they win. Because I didn't want to be looking at that poster and going, oh, that was amazing. And then they ran into the Bucks. They beat the Bucks! Down 2-0, they beat the Bucks! Damn it! Annual end of the season retweet. I don't even remember tweeting this. Just staring at my phone, periodically saying, beep! Who are you rooting for now that the Leafs are out? The team that sends me free stuff even when I don't ask for it. They sent me this. So thanks for the shirt, and get my goalie a ring. Oh, and if you win, make sure you get the other goalie a ring as well. Do you think this was Jason Spezza's last game for his home team? I feel horrible for him, man. Like, he really took a chance coming for the Leafs. It sounds like he left money on the table. Scratched in the home opener, which is very quickly being looked back on as the stupidest thing Mike Babcock ever did as Leafs coach, and it's hard to believe. And then he, talks to his family, I want to go win a cup. And they let him go win a cup. Or try to, anyway. And you could see that in his dejection on the bench. I think he'll be back. I think he would do it. Will the Leafs do it? Dude, skip this LFR. Redo the David Ayres LFR. Put down half a handle of Tito's, then watch the game again, then record. Travis, there will be no Tito's. I have a 7-week-old upstairs. What is Tito's anyway, Travis? Knowing you, that sounds like the tequila they serve at Sparrow. What team will you be pulling for, and why is it the Washington Capitals? At least, do you understand nothing? No outcome will make me happy. None of them. Kadri wins, I'm sad. Reimer wins, I'm happy. Then I'm sad. I'm devastated sad that he didn't do it here. And for the Caps, I gotta cheer for Tom Wilson, which I think that's in my contract. I can't do that. The contract I signed with myself. And isn't this the question? What would you like to see happen this offseason? Who stay? Who goes? Is it finally time to trade Freddie? Can you please make a final Zoo reference? I'll just tell you my favorite zoo story. I was once walking through the front courtyard with my forest green I work here at the zoo shirt, and a school group from Connecticut flagged me down. And they said, why does everyone in Canada say A? And being customer service polite, I said, oh, I don't know if we do that. Maybe they do that a bit more out east. And they said, Canada has an east? Google Connecticut! That's why you're not getting the Whalers back. Shut up. As for what I'd like to see in the offseason, the right side needs to be completely reimagined on defense. Completely reimagined. And I know you just re-signed the guy. look at Trading Hall too. Like, they need a complete revamping. You gotta decide what you have with Travis Dermott. Is he a third pair left-handed guy forever? Is he gonna be on the right side ever? And unless you can really, really pull a rabbit out of your hat in free agency, the best way to address your defense is to take away from your offense. And the available candidates should be almost everybody on the roster. And I mean almost anybody. I don't think you're trading Matthews. How about that? From Jason, I was saving this photo for the end of the series. Unbelievable series, man. Nerves came down to the last minute. Wishing you the best of luck in the lottery. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And I promise you guys we'll be back next year. First of all, are you the child in the photo? God, I'm old. Yeah, good series to Columbus, man. I maybe should have said it earlier, but it felt like the Leafs beat themselves against Boston, and the Columbus Blue Jackets beat the Leafs. They did. They're a good team. Korpisalo's a hell of a goalie. Dubois is unbelievable. I hated that pick when they made it. They won. They're a great team. Not a question, but a thank you. As an Aussie just getting into the NHL and Leafs this year, thanks for your energetic coverage and explanations. Have really helped understand the game and team. Looking forward to 2021. Thank you. Thank all of you. Thank you. Thank you guys. I don't know. What is this channel without you? I'm just screaming into the void. You're always there. You're just spectacular. And whenever someone stops watching, I don't sweat it because I'm happy with the people who are here. I hope you know how much you're all appreciated and how much I lean on you. This was a tough year. It was a tough season. Obviously, I kept it secret that my wife was pregnant. We've been over that. My son was born June 22nd, you know, which would usually be awesome for the hockey schedule, and then we run into this once-in-a-lifetime scenario, and then Charlie died a week later, and that rocked us. That was brutal. While we're trying to establish ourselves as parents, and then my grandfather died too. Like, can I show you guys something? In the past month, I've been sent this unreal wooden Victory Puppies thing, and also this, which there's a reason I haven't hung this in here, because I don't think I could do it. We're not ready for that yet, and while we're on the subject, can we... Charlie was a lot more to us than a collar. He was a really good dog, so I saw a lot of people were kind of bummed that was in the background. It is kind of morbid now that you mention it. This will go somewhere else. And a few weeks ago, someone asked me for stories about my grandfather, because obviously there's a couple in the book and people seem to really like them. There's a story he always told, and I forgot to put it in the book, where he was going to a soccer game. I think it was Fulham, because that's where he lived and who he cheered for. And a police horse, when he was trying to go into the subway or whatever it is, the underground, a police horse hit him with his ass and knocked him down a flight of stairs, and so he decided not to go to the game. But what I remembered is there's obviously this story in the book where he takes shrapnel on the beach in Italy during World War II, and American soldiers find him, and he tries to fight them off because he thinks they're trying to cut off his leg, and then they correct him. They go, "No, we're trying to cut off your pants," and he just goes, "Oh, okay." Or at least that's always the way he always told the story. Another thing I love about him is that was his worst war injury. His second worst war injury was a sunburn he sustained by falling asleep on the deck of a boat. And once when I was a kid, I asked him if he ever encountered any prisoners of war, and he just went, "Actually, yes. There was an Italian who asked me for a peep, and I didn't know what he meant, and it was a pipe." And he just always remarked how he thought it was funny how that Italian man pronounced pipe. He was a kind man who lived a kind life, and I'll try to do the same. This sucks. I really do hate this. Like, obviously I'm not going away. I'm doing a podcast tomorrow. I'm going to be on a radio show tomorrow. I'm doing a podcast with PK Subban tomorrow. But, you know, I still do my videos with Sportsnet. But these LFRs mean something to me, and you mean something to me, and this sucks. The last one always sucks. If the Leafs win the cup, the last one will suck. Well, thank you for watching this season. Thank you for the Felix Potvin mask, oh my god. And you know what? You deserve this. It's not the Stanley Cup, but you deserve a sip anyway. This is the trophy that you all earned. I gotta get this polished. The Peter William Dixon Memorial All-Star Cup Classic. Because at the Eric Lindros Celebrity Hockey Classic, in support of Easter Seals, you helped raise over $100,000 for kids with physical disabilities. And I will never forget that. Mwah. You get a virtual kiss, virtual sip You absolutely deserve it. This season began in October, and I'm shooting this night of. I'll probably have a lot more in reflection soon. It's a lot. It's 10 months, and lots happened. We have a new person upstairs, and I'm gonna go feed him. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. All sorts of links down below. I got Cameo now if you don't want to say goodbye. And tell all your friends that you love them. Tell them to have a nice day. Why not? Yeah! Enough! Enough of this contract! I'm sorry, Cujo.
You finished?
Yes, sir.
Has it sunk in?
Yes, sir.
Hopefully this can help.
Thanks, Nick.
It's sir.
Thanks, sir. Victory, puppies, boys! The Leafs won a game! They're the best team in the entire world! Everyone gets to keep their jobs based on one game's results! That's how this works! No, I'm fine! Where are you going? It's okay, Patty. It's okay. We'll always have the memories. Now you're back in a Sharks uniform, just like you should be. It looked weird. It did. For 2 whole years it looked weird, Patrick. You don't think that you don't think this looks weird? Exactly. That's what this looked like for 2 years, Patrick. We loved you, but you're skating around like Will Ferrell and Elf. We knew you were a shark. Look, I'm Woody. Howdy, howdy, howdy. October's over! Yeah! And Matthews stood there, shaking. Rocks are starting to levitate. Sparks are flying! Thunder is cracking in the sky! His hair goes blonde! And even his teammates are terrified! They're like, just give him the puck! And they stop it and he says, again! And they stop it and he says, roofs it! Sally, bump into the glass! Say hi to that nice lady sitting in the front row as the planet Namek trembles! How are the nachos? I've always wanted to order nachos, but I never know if they'll come soggy, what with the delivery time and all. Please, it's for science! That's how depressed I was last night! I ordered nachos off Uber Eats, and not even restaurant nachos, I ordered them from Cineplex! And to answer your question, actually the salsa and queso both come in individually sealed packages, which keeps your nachos dry. 18 times in 23 games! They've been scored on first! This isn't a blip! This is not a result of my lack of optimism for this team! They suck! Life is about ebbs and flows, ups and downs. Why are you so miserable during losses when you don't even celebrate wins? Since when did I become the face of sanity for this fan base? Victory, puppies, boys! Enjoy this treat while I recap the game for you, okay? The Leafs had a 3-0 lead, and I was kind of happy about it, and then kind of sad because it happened all against James Reimer. Then the Hurricanes pulled their goalie that early, and I knew they were finished. And then, of course, here you go. There's another trade. I didn't think it would last this long. Listen, so the Carolina Hurricanes, they came back, and here's the thing. They scored 1 goal, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. And then I was really sad. But then the Leafs came back, 1 goal, and then Eric Hall scored, and you notice he was talking trash all night. I didn't like any of that. Then Austin Matthews did the most Austin Matthews thing ever, and then the Leafs scored again, and then Marner scored again, and then Pierre Engvall with his neck, he got another goal in the empty net, and the Leafs won. Wasn't that amazing? Thank you for listening to that whole thing, Charlie. All right, guys, I'm done. Have a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And when he's on the ice, you sleep with one eye open. The same man with his first National Hockey League goal. Oh my God, how do people do that? Rasmus Sandin! Jake Muzzin returns to the lineup. That's wonderful. And Trevor Moore also returns to the lineup. That's wonderful. Hey, look, the Leafs getting guys back from injury.
Kasperi Kapanen won't be returning tonight. He has an arm injury.
Manage this season! Oh, you think the Leafs are injured? Well, our team... Oh, much better, much better, yeah. Why do we do this? Toronto Maple Leafs lost an actual National Hockey League game to a 42-year-old Zamboni driver who works for them! Forget Game 7 in 2013, in 2018, in 2019. Wow, they get humiliated a lot. Well, forget all of them! They just lost to a 42-year-old Zamboni driver who works for the team! And I know it's Austin Matthews and he's got a great shot, but he knows who made that play happen. Look at this. Never speak to me or my son ever again. Austin, I'm older than you. Mitch, I'm in the middle of something. By now, you probably think I'm gonna announce my wife is pregnant or something, and no, my wife's not pregnant. Everybody, meet our son, Leo. No, for real, this is my kid. Hi, Leo. Hi. Oh my goodness, does that say? Yes, we actually, we're that extra. We did that. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Toronto Maple Leafs and watching them. My name is Steve. Your name is your name. And join me as we talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs today. Please keep your arms, legs, and head inside of the vehicle at all times. If you look to your left, you'll see a multi-goal blown lead for the 1,000th friggin' time. And if you look to your right, it's always on the right. You'll see the same gaping hole on defense that's been there for years. We even traded Kadri to address it, and now that guy's on the third pair. And from that moment onward, I'm watching the TV. Leafs, something, anything, show you're alive! And it's 3-2, they're within one of tying it! Don't you dare give me hope! And these clowns, these absolute clowns, I tweeted before the game, 4-2 Jackets, because that's how I thought the game was gonna go. And here it is, they were down 3-0, they get 1 goal, they get 2 goals, I start to believe, we all start to believe, empty netter Columbus, that's how this is going to work. It's how it always works. And then 2020 said, Google me. You're just gonna lose it in overtime. I gotta give Leo a bottle. I need a very different bottle. Good morning.